Hi, and welcome to Crafts with Ash, DIY and Decor. My name's Ashley, and today I put together 20 of my gingerbread DIYs from 2021 that I think you're really going to enjoy. It'll make your house look so fun, festive, and Christmassy. First, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that little notification bell, and hit all in the drop-down menu to be notified about all notifications. I upload a few times a month, and coming into the holiday season, you know I'm going to be uploading a lot more. So if you like DIY videos, home decor ideas, and decorate with me, this is definitely the channel for you, so definitely hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get started with these 20 gingerbread DIYs. Fair warning, this is a long one, so grab your peppermint mocha, sit back, relax, and enjoy the creativity. Let's get started. For the first DIY, I'm going to start off with this silver 4x6 picture frame. And after I remove the plastic, I am going to take the back off and I'm going to remove the little piece of paper, and I believe there was a little foam piece in there too. And then I'm going to put the back on. After that, I'm going to paint this entire thing with my steel Waverly chalk paint. Now, one thing you're going to notice about each one of these DIYs is that they are so easy to make. I really just wanted to make some quick and easy DIYs. That way, you know, I have some to display in the kitchen. So you're going to love how quick and easy these are to put together. So while my frame was drying, I went ahead and took a piece of painter's tape, and as you can see, I have the sticky part up, and I'm going to take these little gingerbread men that I got in a pack from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to lay out 6. I love this little trick when painting little pieces because look, it holds those pieces down and you don't have to worry about holding them with your fingers and then getting your fingers all messy. But I did go ahead and paint each one of my little gingerbread men with my nutmeg apple barrel paint, and throughout the whole video, that nutmeg paint is going to be the paint that I use for any gingerbread colors. Next, I'm going to take my white puffy paint that also came from Walmart, and I'm going to accessorize or decorate my little gingerbread cookies. So I'm going to add those little squiggly lines on the arms and the legs. And then I'm going to give my gingerbread people some eyes and a mouth. Now, I would kind of recommend using a Sharpie to do the eyes and the mouth just because it's so small. And you're going to see later in the video, I end up doing that. And I really liked how that came out better because some of my little gingerbread men here look possessed. So next I'm going to take my red and green puffy paint and I'm going to add some buttons. And as you can see, I'm alternating the buttons. That way it kind of gives it a different look. After those gingerbread men dried, I'm going to simply lay out the gingerbread cookies onto that little picture frame, which is now a little baking sheet. And as you can see, I just lined up 3 on each side, 1 underneath each other. I thought that this little picture frame made the perfect faux baking sheet, and it looks like all these gingerbread men were just freshly baked. And I don't know if I mentioned it or I don't know if you caught it, but I did paint the glass of the picture frame as well. So once I had all of my little pieces laid out, I went ahead and glued them on. Now, I did notice that the back of my frame was just a little loose, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some hot glue in the corners just to kind of make it more secure. Next, I'm going to take a piece of red ribbon and I'm going to create a little bow. So I just shaped it into an awareness ribbon, and then I scrunched it down in the middle, and now I'm going to use this red and white baker's twine to tie it all together. Then I'm simply going to hot glue that bow to the corner of my little cookie sheet, and this little gingerbread cookie sheet DIY is complete. Real quick, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to my YouTube channel. If you're new, I want to thank you so much for choosing to stop by today. And hey, stick around with me for a while by hitting that subscribe button. If you're returning, you already know I love you. I appreciate you. Please keep commenting. Please keep liking my videos. You know that I do read every single comment. I appreciate every single one. I may not be able to reply to every single one, but please know that I do read them. So thank you so much for coming back and for all of your support. Look how cute this little baking sheet is. Now you're going to have to wait till the end for the final reveal. All right, next up, another super easy one. I took this little plastic jar from the Dollar Tree, and I actually took one of these little cookies out of a pack that I got from Hobby Lobby, and of course, they were 50% off. So I'm just simply going to remove the lid and hot glue one of the cookies standing up on my little lid, right in the middle. Then I'm going to take some baker's twine, and I'm just going to wrap it around the neck, I guess, of the little jar, and I thought that this would make for the perfect little candy jar to put on my tiered tray. So I did wrap it around probably 3 times, I think, and then of course I tied it around in the back and glued it so that way it would stay. And I just thought that that added a perfect touch. Now you could add some sticker letters or a decal to the front spelling out Gumdrops or whatever candy you'd like. But honestly, once I put the candy in there, I just thought that it dressed it up enough, so it really didn't need anything else. So after I had my little candy jar made, all that was left to do was to add my candy. So I am adding these little gumdrop pieces that I got from the Dollar Tree. And look how fun and colorful that is. I just love that. And hey, how simple was that? For this next tiered tray idea, I got these chunky wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. And guys, it doesn't get any more simple than this. So all I did was sand these down. They were a little rough around the edges, so I just wanted to smooth them out a little bit. And then I'm going to take my nutmeg apple barrel paint, and I'm going to paint both of these pieces with that. Now I did make sure to go on the sides. You can paint the back if you would like as well. So after I had both of my pieces painted, I'm just going to decorate them just like a cookie. So I just took my puffy paint and I outlined the outside of the tree. And I went all the way around. Then I'm going to add some squigglies in the middle. And then I'm also going to incorporate my red and my green puffy paint and make some little polka dots. Each one of these DIYs were so fun to make because literally it was just using my creativity and just drawing and painting, and you know, it was just really fun. And I've been having so much fun playing with puffy paints. It's been years since I've actually used puffy paint, so this has been so fun. So I'm just adding some polka dots on those lines, those wavy lines going across with my red puffy paint. All the puffy paint came from Walmart. And then I'm going to take my green and I'm just going to add some polka dots to the outside little points. And honestly, from far away, these do look like cookies, especially because the outside is, like the outside edges are kind of rough still, so that kind of gave it that cookie look too. So for the ornament, I'm just going to outline that. Now I should have went on all the way up too. I don't know why I didn't, but hey, that's okay. All right, so now I'm going to start adding some polka dots to the middle. And I'm going to use my green, I'm going to use my red. Yeah, like I said, each one of these was just so much fun to make. Then I'm going to outline the top. And I thought that these came out so cute. And again, they were so easy to make. And these are great filler pieces too, in case, you know, if you just have like some dead space on your tiered tray, these are great just to throw in the back because, you know, you don't have to see the entire thing, but it's nice to have something there. So just to finish these off, I'm just going to add a tumbling tower block to the back of each one to create a stand, and now they are freestanding pieces. And look how cute and yummy those look. All right, for the next DIY, I picked up this mini cutting board from Hobby Lobby, and it was originally $3.99, but of course I got it half off. And then I cut this decal from my Cricut, but you can use rub-on transfers, sticker letters, stencils. You can print something off from your printer and Mod Podge it, whatever alternative you have to having a Cricut. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put this this decal, on my little cutting board, and it's made with love, and I thought it was super cute. And then I'm going to take 2 more of those mini gingerbread pieces. I'm going to put them both on a piece of painter's tape to make it easier to paint. And then, you know what comes next? I'm just going to paint both of them with that nutmeg apple barrel paint. And for all of the painting, I do 2 coats. All right, now I'm just going to accessorize them or decorate them the same way I did those first ones. So of course I'm going to do those white lines on the arms and the legs. And then here's where I chose to actually use a permanent marker to do the mouth and the eyes. And I liked that better because it was just easier to do. So because, you know, like it's because it's very small area, so it's just easier. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the buttons with the red and green puffy paint. Now, I did want to make one a girl and one a boy, so I'm actually going to mix some pink paint. And I just did that by mixing white chalk paint. Then I just added my red puffy paint in there. And I'm going to add little cheeks to my girl. And then I don't know if you can tell, but I added little eyelashes to her too. But I just used the back or the end of my skewer to go ahead and add those little cheeks. Next, I'm going to arrange my little gingerbread pieces up top. And then I had this little wood heart shape. It came in like a big bag of just random shapes from the Dollar Tree, but you can use whatever heart you have. And I'm just going to use my puffy paint to go ahead and color that in. And then I'm going to hot glue my 2 little gingerbread pieces down, but I do want to make sure their little hands touch. And you can see I'm kind of hot gluing them at an angle. And now I'm going to hot glue the heart right in the middle, and I think that is so cute. Look at that. So cute. All right, now to add just a little bit more color, I'm going to take my puffy paint and I'm going to add some polka dots throughout my decal. And like I said, this was just, you know, to add some more color, to make it cuter, just to give it more detail. And now I'm going to go in with my green. And then I'm going to just create a simple bow by taking some red and green baker's twine some red and white baker's twine and then green and white baker's twine, put them together and wrap it around the handle and create a bow. This is your friendly reminder that if you love what you see so far, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Not only does it really help my channel to grow, but it tells YouTube you love what you see and you want to see more. So smash that like button. All right, then to top it off, I'm just going to add a tumbling tower block to the back, and now it's this cute little cutting board sign. For my next DIY, I'm going to use this little, I guess, box sign, and this actually came from Dollar General, but Dollar Tree also sells little box signs like this too. And I'm going to paint the lettering with my white chalk paint. I wasn't going for full coverage here. I just wanted to give it a base coat, because then after that dries, I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint the entire inside with that nutmeg. Now you can see that my white paint wasn't completely dry, so it's kind of mixing together and creating like a lighter color. So I did have to give it several coats. Once that dried, I'm going to take this pack of cookie cutters that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to find the gingerbread man. And now I'm just going to simply hot glue the gingerbread man into the little box. And I am making sure that the red part of the cookie cutter is facing out. So honestly, I told you I was not lying when I said each one of these were so easy to do. Then just to add a little bit more detail, I'm just going to add a few squiggly lines all the way around the border. And now we have this cute little cookie cutter sign. Now you can add words to this, you can decorate it even more, but I just thought that it was so cute because it just highlights a cookie cutter. And hey, nothing says Christmas like a cookie cutter. All right, for my next DIY, of course, we have to have a gingerbread man house or gingerbread house. So I thought it would be cute to make it out of a birdhouse. So I had this left over from summer. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint this entire thing with a few coats of that nutmeg paint. Okay, so you're going to have to let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite Christmas cookie? Do you like sugar cookies, like the cookie cutouts? Do you like gingerbread cookies? Do you like the little like peanut butter cup cookies? Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. And also, do you bake Christmas cookies? If you've been following me for a while, you know I don't bake or cook, which is kind of funny because I am doing this theme in the kitchen, but I just think it's cute. But I definitely love me some Christmas cookies to eat. Oh, I just love them. I love Christmas cookies. But let me know down in the comments which are your favorite. All right, so after my gingerbread house was dry, I'm just going to go through and decorate it. So I'm going to add some little shingles, I guess, to the roof by using my white puffy paint. Now, I'm not a good freehand drawer, so this is not going to look perfect, but I also think that it adds to this because it looks homemade and, you know, like a homemade gingerbread house. So I'm just using my puffy paint to go ahead and add the detail on the roof. And then I'm going to add some snow to the top of the roof and then also to the front edge as well. And then I'm just going to outline the sides of my gingerbread house. This is why I loved working with the puffy paint. It got into like all those small areas and it was just so easy to work with. Now you can use whatever colors you want to decorate your gingerbread house. It is totally up to you. I only have red and green puffy paint, so that's all I'm using. But, you know, it would be fun to get like the pink, the purples, the oranges, the yellows that you would use to decorate a gingerbread house. Speaking of gingerbread houses, does your family decorate one? It's been tradition for me and my husband ever since we started dating 15 years ago. Every Christmas Eve before we go to my grandma's house for dinner, we decorate a gingerbread house. We build one. And we've continued that tradition with our daughter. So every Christmas Eve, we sit down as a family and we get to decorate our own little gingerbread house. And it's so much fun. So that's another reason why I also wanted to go with the theme, because how cute is that gingerbread house that we decorate gonna look in the kitchen? All right, so now I'm gonna go through with my red and green paint, puffy paint, and I'm just gonna add some more polka dots. And now I'm going to add a little wreath around the hole there. And then I'm going to add some little berries around the wreath, which you'll see in 1 second. So again, this is just, me just trying to be creative and come up with my own ideas. I'm not looking at a picture or anything. This is just, custom made from my brain. So then I decided to go ahead and add polka dots to the roof as well. I am going every other because I will be adding some green polka dots too. Now, I didn't decorate that back part. I just put like the squiggly around it, but you could definitely like add a window or something fun like that. But I just decided not to. But I thought that all of this added so much detail, and it just looks so festive. Look how fun that looks. Good enough to eat. All right, then I'm going to go in and add some green polka dots. I just felt like it was missing something. Okay, so now I'm going to add some snow to my gingerbread house. So I'm just going to do this by adding some hot glue wherever I want the snow. And then I'm going to take that faux snow and I'm just going to simply sprinkle it on. Now I'm going to do the top, and then I'm going to go to the front of my gingerbread house as well. And I'm going to sprinkle that on. Now, my original plan was to cut off that little like stick or that little dowel in the front that the bird would sit on, but I decided to keep it there. I just thought it was cute. All right, next I'm going to take another one of those mini gingerbread men, and again I'm going to paint him with that nutmeg paint, and then give him the white lines, the eyes, the buttons. And I know that I keep making all these gingerbread men look the same, but that's because I'm not a good freehand drawer. So this is just what I'm going with. This is all I know how to do. All right, and then once that dried, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue my little gingerbread man to the front of this little house. And then I'm going to take this little wooden candy cane sticker that I got in a pack from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to color in the candy canes, of course, by using my red and white puffy paint. Then I'm going to go ahead and color in the bow with my green puffy paint. And then I'm going to hot glue those candy canes to the other side of the house. And look how fun that is. Oh, I just loved how this came out. All right, for my next DIY, this one's a little funky and unique, but I think it turned out fun. So I'm going to take a needle and thread, and I am simply going to make a little gumdrop garland. Now, these are real gumdrops. I tried to create my own little faux gumdrops, and it just didn't work out. So I opted to just use real ones. Now, in case you're worried about them getting hard or anything like that, they probably are going to get hard, and that's fine. I mean, these aren't to eat. These are just for to display. But after I was done with this, I did coat it with a matte sealer, like polyurethane or like one of those, matte sealer sprays. that way it just kind of, you know, I don't know, just protected it, I guess. It just made me feel better. But you could dip these in Mod Podge too, and that might help to protect them as well. So after I had as many as I wanted on, and you can see it's not very long because my tier tray is not that big, I'm going to go ahead and cut off either side, and then I'm going to hot glue the ends so that way they don't move. Now, one thing, this did make my fingers and the needle extremely sticky, so I just want to warn you. But I loved this on my tier tray because it really added a pop of fun colors. Okay, so that's the pack I got from Hobby Lobby with the little gingerbread cookies. And this was in the section with like the minis, like to create like a mini Christmas tree. And as you can see right there, they were $4.99 originally, then I got them for half off. So I just cut off the little string that came on it. And there's a hole because these are little ornaments. So I just went ahead and threaded through the one end of my garland, and then I'm going to tie that off, and then I'm just going to do the same on the other side. I thought about doing a tassel, but then I was really going back and forth, and I couldn't decide what color to do my tassel because I didn't want it to look like too much, like too crazy and too busy. But I love how this one ended out, and like I said, this was just a good pop of, you know, just the different colors. So I did go ahead and tack that down so that way it won't move. And like I said, I grabbed another one. I'm going to add it to the other side. These little ornaments were perfect for a tiered tray. When I saw these, I'm like, oh yes, have to get them. And they're super cute too. Like I said, I had so much fun creating all these gingerbread themed DIYs this season, and I might, no promises, might have another gingerbread video coming out because I just had so many ideas. I couldn't pack it all into one video, so stay tuned for that. All right, so after that little cookie was tied on and tacked on with some glue, this little gumdrop garland is complete. And that finishes up the DIYs for my tier tray. So now it's time for the final reveal. What do you think?
Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring.
This first DIY is so easy and so fun to make, and it only cost $1. So I picked up this pizza pan from the Dollar Tree, and I figure since this is kitchen decor, a pizza pan would fit right in. So what I did first was actually sand it down lightly just so the paint would stick better to the pan. And then I gave this 3 coats of my apple barrel nutmeg paint. Now throughout this whole video, that is the paint I will be using because I think that it is the perfect color for painting gingerbread men or women. So after my pan was dry, I just took something round and I'm tracing 2 eyes on my little gingerbread girl. And then I'm going to write or draw a little oval nose and then a little smile. Now I am looking at a picture. I am not good at freehanding faces or anything for that matter. And I am such a visual person that I did have to look at a picture while doing this. But even so, I thought it turned out so cute. But if you need a little help drawing faces or anything, just go on Pinterest, Google, anything to help you find a guide. So once I had my template all drawn on, I took some black paint and I'm going to go ahead and paint in her eyes. And you can see there I did start off with a black paint pen, but I quickly realized that was going to take me forever to color in. So I opted to go with the black paint instead. And I do end up giving the eyes 2 coats. After that, I used some crimson chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm going to paint in her little nose. So you're going to have to let me know down in the comments, do you theme your rooms in your house, or you just kind of put up any decor anywhere? I am so excited to do like a gingerbread theme. I've never had like a theme in a specific room, so I am so excited to narrow it down, and just so that way there's lots to look at in the house. All right, next I took a paint pen and I just drew on her little mouth. After that, I mixed some red and white paint to create pink. Then using this round little stencil brush, I'm just going to dab, dab, dab in some little cheeks. Then going back to the paint pen, I'm going to draw in some cute little eyelashes. Look how adorable she is. And then I'm going to take some white puffy paint and I'm going to make a little twinkle in her eye and give her eyes some detail. And then I decided to take my red puffy paint and go over her nose. Now, all of my puffy paint bottles today came from Walmart. They were super affordable. You'll notice that I did get the big bottle of the white because I figure with all the gingerbread decor, I'll probably need a big one. So, but these little smaller ones work great too. So now I'm going to take my white puffy paint and I'm going to outline the perimeter of her face to give her that gingerbread detail. Like I said, I thought this came out super cute. Of course, I'm not the first one to do this. I did see this idea somewhere. I honestly don't remember, but I just wanted to do my little take on it. So now I'm going to give her a little tongue. So I'm just using my crimson chalk paint to do that, to paint that in. All right, now it's time to make her a little bow. So I took this sparkly glitter ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree, and basically I made it into one big loop, putting the ends together, and then I just squished it down. And now to tie it in the middle, I'm going to take this baker's twine and just wrap it around and tie it. And then I'm ready to glue our little bow onto the pizza pan. All right, so using some hot glue, although I would probably suggest adding some super glue in there too, I'm just going to hot glue it at an angle at the top of her little head. And look how cute she is. Now to add just a little bit more detail, I'm gonna take a kind of wild bristled brush and dip it in some white paint, and then I'm just taking something and just basically tapping on the brush. I'm going to give her some little paint dots. Now you're going to see this paint dot theme throughout the entire video because I want all of my decor to be cohesive and matching. And also I just think that it adds so much detail. So I love this little trick here. Now, this is why I say you really want a wild bristled brush, because that first one that I was using was not great. But after all my paint dots were on, she is finished. You can either display this standing up or add a hanger. It doesn't matter because it's so cute. What do you think? For my next DIY, I'm going to use this little gingerbread man wood cutout that I got from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I'm going to do is use some of that Dollar Tree spackling to color or to fill in that hole because I'm not going to need it. Then I'm going to sand that down, and then I'm going to start painting this entire thing with the nutmeg apple barrel paint. Now, I'm not going to paint his bow or the buttons. I actually pop off but keep them close because we will use them again. And then I'm also not going to paint the little detailed little pieces on his arms and legs. But other than that, I'm going to paint the whole thing. And I did give it several coats. After that was dry, I went back with some white chalk paint, and now I'm going to paint the little pieces on his arms and legs. And then I'm going to take my red chalk paint and I'm going to paint in his little bow tie. Okay, next I'm going to take that white puffy paint, and again, I'm just going to give him that outlining around his head. And then I'm also going to go and give some squiggly lines to the details on his arms and legs as well. I loved using puffy paint. It's been so long since I actually used puffy paint. It's so funny. I don't know. My mom used to put it on everything, and so we used to use it a lot, and I have not used it in a long time, but it was fun to play with puffy paint again. All right, now we're going to draw his face. So I'm just going to do a simple design because, again, I'm not great at it. So I just drew 2 eyes and a wavy little smile. And then I'm going to mix that paint again, the pink paint, and give him some little rosy cheeks. Now, I opted not to do a nose on this one. Then I'm going to give him a twinkle in his eye. All right, now I lost some footage, but I did do the paint dots on this as well. So after that was all dry, I hot glued on the buttons, and I also hot glued one onto his bow tie. Now this one only came with 3. I must have popped some other buttons off of something else, so you might have to add something else to the bow tie if you want. Then I painted 2 of the buttons green, and then I'll paint the button in his bow tie white and the other button red. All right, now we're done with the gingerbread man part. So now we're going to make a base. So I had this little sign that I got from the Dollar Tree around Halloween time, and you can see that I had started painting over it. This was for a different DIY that I never ended up finishing. So I'm going to use this. Now I needed to cut it in half. So all I did was measure it and mark where half is, and then I'm just going to take my utility knife and I'm simply just going to cut it, and look how easily it cut. So I'm just cutting it right off. And you can pop that little hanger piece right there. Look how easy that popped right off. And then I'm just going to cut it down. Now, also what you want to do is you want to take the end off of the side that you're not using, because we're going to need that to glue on the piece of the box that we are using. That way it makes an enclosure. That way it finishes off the box, all 4 sides. So I'm just going to simply hot glue that side on the box. And I did have to sand down what I cut off to make that fit. It still was not a perfect fit, but that's okay. I'm going to hide that. So after my box was all put together, I'm going to give this a couple coats of white Waverly chalk paint. Now I am kind of ripping off the paper as well, and underneath it's revealing some white paper, I guess. So that was easier for me to paint over. So on the sides where there's the skulls, I did have to give it numerous coats so it's completely covered. So I just went ahead and painted this all up. Okay, so after my box was all dry, I actually cut off a decal from my Cricut, but I lost the footage of me actually applying it. But it says Baking Spirits Bright. So what I did, it's in red vinyl, but I did go ahead and kind of lightly brush over it with some white chalk paint to kind of dull down the red. Now I'm going to take this red and white baker's twine and I'm going to hot glue it all the way around the edges of my box on the top at first, and then I will go on the front. Now, if you don't have a Cricut, that's okay. You can use sticker letters, you can use rub-on transfers, you can print something out on the printer and Mod Podge it on, you can handwrite it, you can use stencils. There's so many options to using, or alternatives to using a Cricut. Okay, so next I'm going to take these 2 wooden blocks that I got, and I'm going to hot glue them to the back of his little legs, because this is going to give him lots of support, because we're going to hot glue him to the top of our little box. So now I'm going to take this strand of green lights that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they are battery operated, and I am just basically wrapping it around him, kind of like he got tangled in the lights. Hence the phrase, baking spirits bright. So like I said, I'm just tangling him in the lights. Okay, so after I had my lights on how I liked, I'm going to take the battery pack and I'm going to hot glue it to the back of the box. Of course, you want to make sure that the screw is facing out. And then I'm going to add some of that baker's twine to the front of the box. And I think that that added the perfect final touch for this cute little project. I don't know if you caught it, but the other day, I actually uploaded a video of 3 light up Christmas DIYs. So if you love this, you're going to love those other ones. I'll definitely have it linked to the end of this video and in my description box below. So after you're done watching this, definitely head over there to catch that. So after that was glued down, this little baking spirits bright gingerbread man is complete. And I think he is so cool. What do you think? Now for my next DIY, I actually lost some footage here, but I started off with this 4-pack of mixing spoons from the Dollar Tree, and I simply just gave each of them several coats of that nutmeg apple barrel paint. After that was done and they were dry, I just simply went and drew different faces on each one of the spoons. Now, each one of the spoons are a different height, so it kind of looks like a family. So I kind of wanted to dress them up a little bit. So I tried to be creative and tried to make each one of them look a little different. So I have 2 boy spoons and 2 girl spoons. So on one of the boys, I gave him a little bow tie, just like at the bottom of the spoon part. And then around the other boy, I just simply tied a piece of ribbon around the little quote-unquote neck, and it made for a scarf. And you're going to see how simple this project is. And it literally only cost $1 as well. So I just gave this little boy a scarf, and that was super easy. And I just used ribbon that I already had in my stash. And then one of the girls got this really cute sparkly bow right on top of her head. And then the mom, I guess, I'm going to make her little earmuffs. So what I did was I cut down a piece of a pipe cleaner, and you can see I'm shaping it around a bottle to give it that round shape. And then I'm just going to hot glue each end to the side of the spoon, kind of where the ears would be, so to speak. And then I'm going to take these cute little green poof balls, and I'm going to hot glue one of those onto each end of her earmuffs. I thought that this added such a cute little Christmassy, wintry touch. I mean, how adorable is that? So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue one on each side. And of course, if you have earmuffs, you probably need a scarf too. So I just took another piece of ribbon and I just wrapped it around again. And I did wrap it around like kind of a different way than I did the other one, just to change it up a little bit. That was it. It was so simple. You can see how quick and easy it was for me to put these together, and look how cute. What do you think? For the next DIY, we're going to start off with this pack of foam gingerbread men, and I'm only going to use 2 for this. And of course, the first thing I have to do was draw faces on each one, and I'm going to make one a boy and one a girl. So you're going to see that the faces pretty much are going to look the same, but their accessories are going to make the difference. So I'm just drawing on the eyes, the little red nose, and then the smile. And you're going to see all my faces look the same because that's the only thing I know how to make. so you're going to see, you know, it's kind of the same thing going on here. But like I said, I am not a good freehand drawer, and I am a visual person. So I saw a picture of this, so this is what I'm going with. So after I had all the faces drawn on, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to add some different cute little touches just to add some more detail to my gingerbread people. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to give the girl some eyelashes, some cute little eyelashes. And then I'm going to give the boy some buttons. And for this, I just used the green and red puffy paint. And I really loved using these little festive colors, obviously. I think it made it look very Christmassy. If that's a word, I'm not sure. And then after that, I just took my white puffy paint and I went through and added those little squigglies on the arms and the legs, and then of course around his head as well. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the same thing on the girl gingerbread cookie. This is your friendly reminder that if you're loving what you see today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Not only does it really help my channel to grow, but it also tells YouTube that you love what you see and you want to see more. So smash that like button. Alright, so now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to add those squiggly little touches to my girl gingerbread cookie here. Now the great thing about this is that that pack of foam gingerbread men had several in it. So I have some left over that I can make other DIYs too. Then of course I got to add the twinkle in their eye. Now I'm going to go ahead and give my little girl some buttons. And I thought those buttons came out so cute. Now you know I have to do the paint dots. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to dip a very wild bristled brush into some white paint. Then I'm just going to use the back of my screwdriver to just hit it hard and get those paint dots on there. After that, I'm going to hot glue a little bow tie to my boy gingerbread cookie. And then I'm going to give my girl gingerbread a bow right on the top of her head. And I love the green. I think it's such a pretty green. All right, while those were drying, I am going to take a cooling rack that I bought from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take this baker's twine and hot glue the baker's twine to the little rungs, I guess, of the cooling rack. Now I'm only doing the 2 ends and the 3 in the middle. I was going to go all the way around, but then once I kind of put it, or like kind of held it up to it, I decided that it was just a little too busy and too much. So I just decided just to do those 5 going up and down. Now, the method to doing this, because hot glue cools so quickly on metal, you want to do a couple dots at a time, put the twine down, and then keep moving, because it will dry quickly. Now, I don't know if this is honestly going to stay on because hot glue and metal typically don't mix, so I probably should have used some super glue, but only time will tell. So now I'm going to finish up by putting the baker's twine on this last one here. And then you can see that I'm bringing the ends back to the back of the cooling rack and gluing it down. Next, I'm going to take this joy ornament that I got from the Dollar Tree. And after removing the hanger, the greenery on the front, I'm going to take off this fabric. Now, I did not think that this fabric would be so tough to take off, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So first I went through and pulled off any chunks that I could with my fingers, just pulled it off. And then I took my hair dryer and kind of heated up the glue that's holding it on, and then I'm going to take my little scraper tool to scrape it off. So I kind of had to use like a variety of different methods to get this fabric off. Like I said, I just didn't think it was going to be that tough, but it was. But eventually I do get the majority of the fabric off, and then I went through and sanded it down. So now it's really smooth because we're going to paint it. So that really helped a lot. So I'm basically just sanding the rest of it off. So before we do paint this, I do want to cover those holes. So I'm just going to take that spackling and I'm going to fill in the holes, and then I'm going to sand it down once more. And now it is ready to paint. So I'm going to take my nutmeg acrylic paint once more, and I'm going to paint this entire thing, and I am going to give it several coats. I really wanted it to be completely covered. Now I am making sure to get all around the edges and like in the inside of the O and the Y. After that dried, I'm going to take my white puffy paint and I'm just going to make the little squiggly lines, highlighting each letter. So I'm going in the middle of each letter because I wanted to just make this look like a cookie, a gingerbread cookie. So next I'm going to go through and I'm just going to add little dots to the ends of the letters. And then one on the top of the O. Then I decided it needed just a little bit more color. So I'm going to take my red puffy paint and I'm basically just going to go over what I just did, but with the red. And I thought that that added the perfect amount of color. And then we have to add the paint dots. So I'm just going to go through and just add my dots. Next, I'm going to take that cooling rack and my 2 gingerbread people and the joy cookie. And that is exactly how I am going to attach, or how it's all laid out is how it's going to look. So all I'm going to do is just lift up some pieces and add hot glue and then just push it down. So like I said, I have it all laid out first, and then I'm just going to go through and glue all of the little hands down, the feet down, the head down. You can see I'm not going through the whole thing, but I'm just hitting little areas. Now for my joy, I wanted the O to be right over that middle little rung there. So I'm going to hot glue that down. Then I did add some hot glue underneath the J and the Y as well. Then because this was still wet, I just took my screwdriver, but you can take anything pointy and just push it down. I just didn't want to mess it up. All right, so now we're going to add a hanger. So I'm just going to take some red and white baker's twine and I'm going to double it up. And then I'm just going to knot it through one end of my cooling rack. And I'm going to double knot it, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Now, I don't like my hangers very long, so that's why you're going to see it's not very big. Then I'm also going to double knot this one as well. Now, I did feel like this hanger needed just one extra little touch of something, so I went ahead and hot glued some peppermints on each one. So I hot glued one to each. Now these are real peppermints. I feel like they'd be okay to use. I did cover these with Mod Podge just so they will stay and just, I guess, keep just look like this. And I don't know, I didn't know if bugs were a factor. I'm not sure. Only time will tell. But I thought this came out so cute and it's so unique. But you tell me, what do you think? For this next DIY, I'm going to start off with this little box sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to flip it over, pry out the hanger, and then of course I'm going to give this several coats of that nutmeg apple barrel paint. Now, I didn't even think to cover in those holes or to fill in those holes. You might want to do that. Totally up to you. But actually, I do end up covering it, so it probably doesn't even matter. Now, I did paint the sides of my little box as well. And like I said, I am giving this several coats. Next, I'm going to take this decal that I cut from my Cricut, and I did purchase this off of Etsy, this SVG file. I will have the link to the Etsy shop listed in my description box below. Now, I believe if you don't have a Cricut, you can still download this as an image, so you could even print it out, and you can use it just like that, just like as an actual image. So I am going ahead and I'm going to put this in my sign. And I love, of course, the contrast. Obviously, it looks like gingerbread. So I'm just going to carefully pull off my transfer paper. And look at that. Gingerbread kisses and Christmas wishes. I love that. So cute. All right. So after I have my decal on, I'm going to take this ornament that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I squealed when I saw these because how perfect are these for gingerbread theme. And I'm twisting out the little hook on the top, and my plan is to hot glue it to the side, but I just felt like the sign needed a little bit more detail. So obviously I'm going to take my white puffy paint and I'm just going to do those squiggly lines all the way around this box. Then I wanted to add in little touches of color, so I took my red puffy paint and I dotted the eyes. And now I'm going to take my white puffy paint, and on the gingerbread and Christmas, I'm going to add dots to the ends of every letter. And then I'm going to take my green puffy paint and I'm going to do the same thing on the kisses and wishes. And I thought that these little dots made this, oh my gosh, I thought that this brought it to life. It made such a big statement, in my opinion. All right, now it's time to hot glue our little gingerbread man to the side of the box, and this is complete. I love how this turned out. How cute is that? What do you think? This next one is a bonus DIY. This was actually in a video that I did a few weeks ago using my water slide transfer paper from Hippo. So to see the full tutorial, I will have that linked in my description box below. So definitely check it out. And I will also have a link to the water slides. But basically all you do is print off an image on the paper. You spray it with clear sealer 3 times, and then you put it in some lukewarm water, and you saw how easily it slid right onto my little soap dispensers. Then I added some baker's twine for a fun touch. These little soap and lotion dispensers are perfect for my gingerbread themed kitchen. For the next DIY, I picked up this cloche from the Dollar Tree, and what I'm going to do is start off by hot gluing some of this baker's twine around the base of the cloche, and I'm just doing this to kind of dress it up a little bit. You absolutely don't have to, but I just thought it was kind of cute, like a cute little added touch. So I'm just going to wrap it around multiple times, cut it off, and hot glue it. Next, I'm going to take this ornament that I have, and I'm going to hot glue the ornament in the middle of the cloche. The only thing is that it didn't really stay up very well. So what I'm going to do is take 2 beads, and I'm going to hot glue one behind each one of his legs, and that really helped to stabilize the gingerbread man so he didn't fall over. Then to finish this off, I'm just going to sprinkle some of this faux snow inside the top of the cloche, attach the cloche to the base, flip it over, and now we have a cute little gingerbread man in faux snow. And then I just added one more final touch by putting a peppermint on top with a little rhinestone, and how cute is this little gingerbread snow globe. Now this is optional. I know a lot of people are not glitter people. However, I decided to go ahead and put some of that spray adhesive around the bottom and put glitter around the baker's twine just to kind of glisten it a little bit. And like I said, this is completely optional. If you are not glitter people, that's totally fine. You can skip it. For my next DIY, I'm going to take this 3-pack of trees, 3D trees that I actually got at Dollar General last year, and I'm going to put them together, and what I'm going to do is give each one of these trees 2 to 3 coats of that nutmeg paint, and I'm going to paint the entire tree, all 3 of them. Once my trees were dry, it's now time to decorate them. So I'm going to take my white puffy paint, and I'm just going to randomly just kind of put little streaks of puffy paint all over my trees to kind of look like snow top glisten trees, I guess. And I am going to do this on all 3 trees. And I did do it on the top of the trees as well. And I just really love the look that this added because it just made it look so much like gingerbread. And so I thought that this was really fun to do too. And then I also went in the middle of the trees and added some of that puffy paint to make it look like snow. Now to add even more detail to my little gingerbread trees, I'm going to take that pack of beads that I got from the Dollar Tree, and it's just a pack of 5 different pastel colors, and I'm just going to randomly hot glue all the different colors on all of my trees. And this is just kind of to mimic gumdrops, I guess, and I really loved the touch that this added because I felt like it brought these trees to life and made them look like little gingerbread trees. Then again, to make my little gingerbread trees glisten, I'm going to use that adhesive spray to attach some glitter to the trees, and I just thought that this looked so pretty. Again, this is optional. If you're not a glitter person, you can skip this, but I love this little touch on all of my gingerbread DIYs. Once all my glitter was on my trees, I have these really cute gingerbread trees that I can't wait to display on my tiered tray. For the next DIY, I'm going to take this cutting board or faux cutting board that I got from the Easter season last year, and I'm going to pop off the little tacks in each one of the corners. And then I'm kind of just using whatever tools I have to pop these off. And I am going to put these aside, and that way I can use it for another DIY. So next I'm just going to go ahead and sand it down a little bit so it's not rough. Next, I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside square with my white Waverly chalk paint. That way it goes ahead and covers up the image, because I am going to be putting a different image on here, but I don't want the image underneath to show through. So I'm just going to give that 1 or 2 coats of my white chalk paint. Now here's the image. I did get this off of Etsy. I did have to pay for it, but it's just the only one that I really loved. I tried looking for a free printable, but I just couldn't find one that I liked. So I just decided to go ahead and go with this one. And of course it is a recipe of gingerbread cookies. So I thought, how perfect for a gingerbread kitchen. So right now I'm just kind of comparing it to the square underneath. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my fingernail to kind of just fold it over to see where I need to make my cuts. And to make my cuts, I'm going to use this cutter. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut it down so it fits in the middle of that white square that I had painted. Now, I did decide to cut off the bottom of this because I did not size it properly, which is totally my fault. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it down. And then you're going to see that I actually cut off more of the white paper around the sides. And then I'm going to use my Mod Podge to go ahead and glue it on. Now, to make sure that my paper was good and stuck on my board, I did go through with even more Mod Podge, and I did put it over the edges to make sure that those did not flap up. And this really seemed to help keep the paper on, and it's like this printable is just totally part of the cutting board, and it looks super, super cool. Next, I wanted to add a little 3D touch to this, so I took one of these mini gingerbread cutouts, and what I'm going to do is measure the top of the gingerbread man, and I'm going to cut it down with my miter shears, because you can see that little gingerbread man on the paper. So basically I'm just going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to make him 3D. So once I have him cut down, I am going to sand him just a little bit to get rid of the rough edges. And then I'm going to give this gingerbread man a couple coats of the nutmeg apple barrel paint to make him look like a real gingerbread cookie. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead, and I need to bedazzle this too and make it glisten. So I'm going to take that spray adhesive and I'm going to go around the perimeter of my paper, pretty much where the paper ends and the white underneath it begins, because remember I cut it down even smaller. And I'm just going to add this glitter all the way around. And I really love how it looks. I think it's super just pretty, and like I said, it really glistened, and like I said, it hid those edges as well too. Again, you can skip this if you do not like using glitter or anything like that, but I just thought that it added such a pretty touch. So now what I'm going to do is, instead of adding those tacks back to the corners, I'm actually going to add these really pretty red rhinestones to each one of the corners, and that way it just kind of brings it all together. And then I'm going to add my little gingerbread man up top. Now, to give him some detail, I'm just going to take my white paint pen and or paint marker, and I'm going to give him some eyes, a mouth, and then just some little gingerbread squigglies to go ahead and give him some detail. Now, to the top of this cutting board, I just felt like it needed something. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bow by using this really pretty red glittery ribbon, and I'm just going to make it very simple, just a loop, and then I'm going to use that baker's twine to just clitch it off in the middle and just make a bow, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the bottom of the handle part. And I really love this. Now I do have to say that this glitter or this ribbon is kind of messy because all the glitter is coming off, but that's okay. I thought that it was really pretty, so it was worth it. Next, all I have to do is just poof my bow up a little bit, and then I did decide to add another one of those little gems in the middle of my bow to kind of hide that baker's twine, but also bring it all together. And look how cute this cutting board is. I am obsessed. I love this one. Next up, these are two very simple DIYs. So I picked up this kitchen towel from the Dollar Tree, and then I got this little gingerbread felt set from Hobby Lobby, and basically all I'm going to do is use the kit to put together two of these gingerbread men felt pieces, and it's as easy as that. And then I'm just going to hot glue my gingerbread man in the middle of my kitchen towel. So like I said, I'm just using the pieces. Now, instead of using some of the pieces, I did use some stuff from my own stash just to kind of change it up a little bit. So I'm using the majority of the pieces that came with that kit, but you're going to see that I actually use puffy paint for the eyes and stuff like that. And then I'm going around here with my white puffy paint to add that gingerbread detail. So you can get creative with this. This is even fun to have your kiddos do, and then you can have them make some kitchen towels or pot holders or something like that, and you can even give them as gifts. But I just thought that this was a really neat idea. Now, of course, these are going to be used for decoration only and not to be used for real. But yeah, super, super simple. Now, of course, I'm going to use my spray adhesive to add my glitter on my little gingerbread man, and then I'm going to hot glue him in the middle of my kitchen towel. Finally, to add more detail to the towel, I'm going to take these little snowflakes that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to randomly glue them all over my towel. And I really love how this came out. I thought it was super cute, super festive, and super, super fun. Now, I also picked up a pot holder from the Dollar Tree, and as you can see, I made another one of those felt gingerbread men. And to this, I'm actually going to add some baker's twine to the perimeter of the pot holder, just to kind of add a really fun little detail to it. And then again, I'm going to go through with my glitter, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the glitter did come from the Dollar Tree, and so did the spray adhesive, and I love the spray adhesive. I think it works really, really well. So I would highly, highly recommend that. But then I went ahead and added some of those snowflakes again, just to just spruce it up just a little bit. And then I have a set of a dish towel and pot holder, perfect for my gingerbread kitchen. And I absolutely loved how these both came out, and how easy were they too. For the next DIY, I'm going to take 3 of these little houses that I got from the Dollar Tree. And at first, I started to rip off the felt from the back, or I think it's foam, but it was going to take me forever. This stuff was not coming off. So what I actually decided to do was to flip them over, and the tag or the stickers on the back actually came off pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and use the back. And then I'm going to give each one of these houses 2 to 3 coats of that nutmeg apple barrel paint. Once my houses were dry, I'm going to take 2 of the houses and I'm going to hot glue them together side by side. And then I'm going to take the 3rd house and I'm going to hot glue that in the middle of the 2 that I just glued. And I'm doing this to make it look like a bigger house. So this is now going to be one big gingerbread house. So now we're going to go through and we're going to decorate this house. So you can be as creative as you want. You can use whatever details, whatever accessories, embellishments that you'd like. So this is just what I did, but feel free to do what you love. So I'm just going to go through with my white puffy paint, and I just kind of added some detail to the roof and to the sides. And now I'm going to go on the front, and I'm going to give it that gingerbread detail, just like the little squiggly lines. And I'm going to do that on all 3. And like I said, I think just adding that detail really makes it look like it's supposed to be gingerbread. So I thought it was perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to add my details. And then I'm going to take some other puffy paint. I'm going to add some windows. I'm going to add a door and just kind of create a really cute house. Next, I'm going to take these beads that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if they're supposed to be gumdrops or they're more like balls, but I'm going to take the hanger out of them, and then I'm just going to hot glue them on the roof just to add a little bit more gingerbread detail. And honestly, this does look like one big cookie, and it looks good enough to eat. So I had a lot of fun making this, and like I said, I just kind of just used my imagination and just used what I had and created something magical. Now, I did decide to go ahead and just add more of the white puffy paint just to thicken it up a little bit and kind of make it look like snow as well. And I really liked how this came out, but you can see there a better view of those little gum balls or gumdrop things. And I thought that it was really pretty. I really loved all the colors as well. So now what I'm going to do is I have this little pack of candy canes that I got from Walmart, and I'm just going to use these candy canes to embellish the front of my house. So I'm just going to hot glue 2 of them to the sides of my house, and then you will see in a little bit that I am going to add 2 to the front by my door. And I really love this. It really does, like I said, it does look like a gingerbread house, and really yummy and cute. So next, I actually changed my mind and I wanted the windows to be red. So I'm just going to go over the black puffy paint with my red puffy paint. And the cool thing is that, this was an easy fix. So it was really easy to just go ahead and trace over it. And you know, I just thought I would do the door too while I was at it. And it was very simple. Now, for the doorknob, I just went ahead and put a little piece of candy that I had. Now, this is not a great angle, but I am adding those smaller beads from the previous DIY, or the one with the trees, to the sides, just to add a little bit more detail. I'll show you what it all looks like in a little bit, though. And I just thought that, you know, this would be fun to do as well. Now, to the front of my house, I thought it would be really cute to add home sweet home. And of course, I did that because sweet gingerbread, you know, candy. So I did cut this decal out from my Cricut, but if you don't have a Cricut, you can use rub-on transfers. You can just write this on. You can put stickers, anything. And then I added a little wreath to the top as well. Now, again, I'm going to use my spray adhesive to add some glitter to the front. And I think that this took this gingerbread house to the next level. And it's just so, so pretty. After adding my 2 candy canes to the front of my house, I am done, and I thought that it came out so cute. For the next DIY, I am going to use this set of little houses that I got from Walmart, and they were just a little light for me, so I'm actually dry brushing some of that nutmeg apple barrel paint all over these houses just to make them look a little bit more gingerbready. And we are going to go ahead and make a garland out of this. So once they were dry, I decided to actually add a bead to the back of each one of these houses to make it easier to string. I actually got this hack from Megan over at Glue Guns and Roses. So thank you, Megan, because this worked like a charm. You just want to make sure that your bead is glued so that the holes are on the sides, of course, so you can string your twine or whatever you're going to use through. So I put a bead on each one of my houses. Next, I'm going to take some 20 millimeter beads, and I'm going to paint them with my nutmeg apple barrel paint. I painted 7 of them, actually. And then I also have 14 red beads, and they are a little bit smaller. So I have 7 of these big beads painted nutmeg, and then 14 red beads that I believe I got off of another garland, so I didn't have to paint those ones. And now it's time to go ahead and string this all together, and I'm going to use my red and white baker's twine to do this. So the pattern I'm following is big bead, house, and then I'm going to do red bead, brown bead, red bead, house, and I'm going to follow that all the way through until I run out of beads and houses. Then, of course, you know I'm going to have to glisten this up, so I'm going to use my spray adhesive and add some glitter. And look how cute this little gingerbread house garland came out. I love it. For the next DIY, this one is super simple as well. I'm going to take 2 of these battery operated candles that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm simply going to coat the front of each candle with some Mod Podge. Don't mind the Xbox controller here being pushed at me. My daughter wanted me to put something on the TV for her, so you could just ignore that. So now I'm going to take these super cute decals that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use the gingerbread man and the gingerbread woman, and I'm just going to simply Mod Podge one to each one of these candles. And I thought that this was a perfect way to dress up these Dollar Tree candles and just, you know, to the theme that I like. So I do make sure to put some Mod Podge over the decal as well, because of course you don't want the decal to come off. So that's just what I'm going to do. And I thought that these were super cute, but you know we're not done, and we need to dress these up even more, because of course next I'm going to take my spray glitter or my spray adhesive, and I'm going to use some glitter to just add to the top of the candle. Now what I decided to do too is to make some drip marks with my hot glue. That way it looks like the glitter is kind of like dripping down, and I thought that this was a super cute added touch. Now to add some embellishment to the top, I'm going to take some of that baker's twine, wrap it around a few times, and tie it off. And I really loved how this came out. I thought that these candles were so pretty, and when you light them up, the sparkles really shine, and it's just super, super fun to do and to make. For my last DIY, this one it's some work, but I promise you the payoff is great. On my comments, you guys loved this one from last year, and I think this is probably one of my top favorites. So I took 4 of these boxes that have these drawers, and they all came from the Dollar Tree. I took out the drawers and I gave each one of these boxes at least 3 coats of the nutmeg apple barrel paint. Now, to eliminate painting unnecessary things, I painted 1 box so the solid part was up, and then I painted the other 3 so that the hollow part was up. So you can go ahead and do that so you don't have to paint so much. Now, also I did paint one of the drawers as well. So now we're going to go ahead and build a little train. So I'm going to take some tumbling tower blocks, and basically we're just going to make a square. So I hot glued 3 of them together, and now I'm going to do that twice. And then I'm going to add 2 in the middle just like this. It's probably easier for you to see what I'm doing instead of me trying to explain it. But basically that's what we're doing. We're just making one big square. Now here I'm going to take one of the drawers and I'm going to push it inside one of the boxes just a little bit, so it is still sticking out. And then I'm going to hot glue my little Jenga piece thing that I made right on top. And again, this is probably easier for you to watch than it is for me to explain. And then, of course, you could see the edges of that box. So I decided just to go ahead and paint that. And I do end up adding some hot glue where the inside box meets the outside box, which you'll see in just a second. But that's just so it stays in place and doesn't keep moving. So now this is just a little piece of a dowel rod that I had left over. So I painted that with the nutmeg paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint the top so it all matches. And now you can kind of see the front of our train forming here. So this is where I just go ahead and add some hot glue right here, push it in just a little bit so that way it stays put. Now to attach my other boxes, I'm going to take these wooden blocks from the Dollar Tree. They came in a pack, and I'm going to hot glue 2 on the back of my front of the train, and then I'm going to hot glue one of the boxes to the blocks, which you'll see here in a second. And I'm going to do this twice so that way all my boxes are attached to the front of my train. Now I did paint the tops of and the sides of my little blocks so that way they were all in that nutmeg paint, and it all matched and blended in and looked really good. So now it's time to start dressing this up. And again, you can use and do whatever you like, but I just wanted to kind of cover the corners. So I had these straws left over. So I'm just going to put a slit in each one of the straws, and I did cut them in half. And I'm just going to simply hot glue them to each corner of my train. And I think that this detail added so much. I really loved that I did this because it just makes it look more like a gingerbread Christmas train, which was the look I was going for. So I did this on each one of my corners and until they were all covered. Next, to give it that gingerbread effect and snowy effect, I'm going to take my white puffy paint and I'm going to outline the tops of each one of the boxes and including the front of the train. I'm also going to make some drips going down the sides of the boxes to make it look like the snow or the icing, whatever you want to call it, is kind of dripping down a little bit as well. And I'm also using this to cover the tops of the straws, so I'm really making sure that I'm getting the corners of all the boxes too. To add more detail, I picked up this little set of gingerbread accessories from Walmart, and I'm just going to use these to hot glue onto my train. I put a little gingerbread guy in the window, or on both sides of the window, and then a little gingerbread workshop or shop sign or something like that right in the front. So I'm just using those as embellishments. Next to the sides, I'm going to take my red puffy paint, my green puffy paint, and I'm just going to add some detail to the sides of the boxes. And like I said, you can do anything you'd like. Just get creative. This is even fun for kids to do too. Maybe they can each decorate a box and then you can attach them all together at the end. I thought that that might be fun. So I just went through and just kind of used my creativity and just made this train look Christmassy and fun. For the wheels, I'm going to use these little peppermint candies. Now, these are real peppermint candies. I did spray them with hairspray, though, to kind of have them set and to kind of coat them a little bit. And so I'm just going to go ahead and glue them wherever the wheels would go on both sides of my train. And then to add even a little bit more detail, I'm going to add a green bead in the middle of each little peppermint candy. And I just thought that 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 kind of, I don't know, just made it more fun and more festive. And then, of course, you knew this was coming. I went ahead and used my spray adhesive and my white glitter to go ahead and add some sparkle and glisten to my train. And that completed this. And when I used this, I put some chocolates in it. I put some of those mini Reese's. I put some kisses. And this made for a super cute little candy train. And my daughter loved it. Everybody loved it. And I really enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. So that completed these 20 gingerbread DIYs. If you stuck with me through this entire thing, you are the real MVP. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got some fun ideas and inspiration on how you can turn your kitchen into a gingerbread bakery shop for this Christmas season. You can catch my Decorate With Me where I incorporated a lot of these DIYs last year, and coming up soon, I will be doing it again. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, and click your notifications on so you can follow me for more DIY fun. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!